the dinosaurs looked. It was very colorful. But no one knows what the color of the dinosaurs were. And even paleontologists don't know what the colors of were. So they tried to discover what the color of dinosaurs were. And they discovered fossil signs. And this guy was a herbivore, and I bet he lived in the Jurassic or the Triassic. And he was not a theropod. And he lived in the Jurassic, and most people found him in North America. Dinosaur. Now this guy had spikes all over his body, and this guy was a theropod. That means he walked on 3 legs. He had a huge head and sharp teeth for eating meat and 3 claws. Well, some theropods have 2 claws, and this guy was a carnivore. And the greatest thing about Giganotosaurus is it liked to observe things. Like, it was very tall. It almost was like up to when it laid down. It was almost like up to the next building or something. And this guy was a carnivore, and it lived in Cretaceous, and most people found him in North America, I think. Herosaurus. Now this guy was a theropod too, and do you know some facts like, well, paleontologists find fossils. Like if a paleontologist find a fossil in the backyard of his backyard, and he named it his name, so that would be interesting. This paleontologist named his name or her name after this dinosaur. And this guy was a theropod, so he walked on 3 legs, and he almost had 4 claws. And this guy had a long tail, and he was a carnivore, and he lived in the Cretaceous, and he was found in North America. Now, Iguanodon. This guy was the popularest dinosaur. He was found in North America, South America, Asia, Europe, and Africa. And this guy was a herbivore, and most people found him, what I just said. And he was almost like a quadruped and moved slow, but the cool thing about this is it lived everywhere, and paleontologists found it everywhere. Now, Microraptor. When you see this dinosaur, you think it can fly very, very high, but it didn't fly at all. It was just like the flying squirrels that we see today. It climbed up the tree, and then it came down, swooping around just like flying squirrels do. And this guy didn't live on the ground or anywhere. It lived on the trees, and his nest was on a tree. And this guy was a carnivore, and most people found him in, Cretaceous, I think, or Jurassic. Oh, this guy had a big brain, so the smaller dinosaur, the big brain. Erythromyrmex. Now, when you see this guy, if he was next to a rock and the tree was 1 mile away, he could go in there in 1 second, because he had these long legs, so he can run fast. And this guy was not a meat eater or plant eater. It was the same, so they called him omnivores. And his name starts with the O. And Erythromyrmex means quick legs. And this guy had a long tail, and this guy was found in North America, and this guy was an omnivore. And it ran very fast. And you see this pile of water, and so what do you see about this Pacificosaurus guy? Right. And this guy mostly show off itself. That means it almost bucked into the other dinosaurs. So it wanted to see who's the biggest and who's the strongest. And this guy used for protection too. So whenever some predator came, it used its head to buck into those predators, and then it fighted them. And this guy was a herbivore and this guy lived in the Jurassic or the Triassic, and he was found almost where, I don't know where he was found, but I think he's a little popular. Now, Pentatriceratops. Now, you know what penta means? Penta means 5. So that means he had 5 horns. So 5 horns. And this guy had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have no idea what that means. But he was cool. I think he's dangerous, but this guy was a herbivore. And he had a small brain on the top. So and the brain was very small, like it was almost like this much. And this guy was a herbivore, and he lived in the Jurassic or the Triassic, and this guy was most found in North America. Stegosaurus. Now when you see this guy, it has all plates on its back. And Stegosaurus means roof lizard because he had those plates on his back, and it was just made from the roof that we have on today on our houses. And you see the spikes on its tail? You know when Allosaurus or Tyrannosaurus Rex came, it used its tail to wipe those things off and fighted those guys. This guy was a quadruped too. That means he walked on 4 legs. And in the Jurassic, it was very hot, so it was almost cool or something. So when the wind blows into his plates, it helps the dinosaur cool off. And this guy was a herbivore, and he lived in the Jurassic. And he had a brain that was almost small, and most people found him in North America. I already did that. Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now, Tyrannosaurus Rex means tyrant lizard. And did you know Tyrannosaurus Rex also lost teeth all the time? There's a animal today live that always loses tooth and grows back more tooth. Do you know who? A shark. And this Tyrannosaurus Rex did migration. That means he went up when it's no more food is there. You know all of the dinosaurs migrate. So herbivores migrate, and then tyrannosaurs follow them. So whenever they eat leaves, the Tyrannosaurus Rex eat the leaf-eating dinosaurs. And this guy was a theropod, and he had a long neck, and he had lots of teeth. And this guy had two arms, and do you know he didn't use his arms at all. He used his mouth almost, and his legs, and he used his tail to balance itself. So whenever he didn't use his arm at all, so whenever he got bigger and bigger, the hands got smaller and smaller. And this guy was a carnivore, and he lived in the Cretaceous, and most people found him in North America. Short name is T-Rex for him. Now, Velociraptor. Now, this guy means steel lizard. Steel lizard. Now, he stealed eggs from other dinosaurs and he put them in his collection, and then he put his eggs in the other collection. So how impressive is that? This guy was really tough, and this guy was a theropod too, and it ran very fast, and it was almost like the Deinonychus, but it didn't. And it was a theropod, and it was a carnivore, and it lived in the Cretaceous or the Triassic. Now, what's this guy name again? Zunitriceratops. Now this is just like a triceratops, and you see this corner over there, this little space over there. It put it all of its things in there, even its brain. It had almost a small brain, almost like this much. And this guy really moved slow, and it used its horns for protection. So every triceratops used protection to guard their babies. So whenever like an Ankylosaurus, Allosaurus or Tyrannosaurus Rex, T-Rex comes, they use their horns to buck into those guys, and then they protected their babies. And this guy was a herbivore, and he lived in the Triassic or the Jurassic, and this guy was mostly found in North America. Well, mostly of the dinosaurs were found in North America. Do you know the name of a dinosaur who lived in India? I'll give you a hint. It was named like my dad. Rajasaurus. My dad's name is Raja, and it was Rajasaurus. So it's like my dad's name, Raja, and then lizard, Raja lizard. And this guy was a theropod, so he had this long head, and he had a tail. And this guy was a carnivore, and he lived in the Cretaceous or the Triassic, and most people found him in. Well, he's popular to me because it was named after my dad, and it was found in North America.
Songbird.
I only know to D. Okay, now, forget all about the dinosaur stuff. Now, let's sing the song about dinosaurs. It's pretty short, but I know some of the dinosaurs. A. Apatosaurus. B. Brachiosaurus. C. Ceratosaurus. D. Deinonychus. E. Edmontosaurus. I only know that much.